Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to each one of you to the virtual session of Science Children. So let us see what are we going to do in this session. We are going to begin with a new chapter, chapter 16, Water a Precious Resource, part 1. So what you are going to do, you are going to write this topic in your index, a new topic in your index with today's date, that is the date of the session. Take a new page, write down the title, Water a Precious Resource. So let us begin with the chapter. Let us begin with some quick facts. 22 March is celebrated as World Water Day to bring awareness among the people about the conservation of water. 2003 was called as the International Year of the Fresh Water to bring awareness among the people about the importance of water as a resource and why it is depleting at such a fast rate. So these are some quick facts about water you should remember. It will add on to your general knowledge. 22nd March is celebrated as World Water Day, and that is 2003 is called as the International Year of Fresh Water to bring awareness among the people. So let us begin. How much water is available on the earth? Please make a subheading. How much water is available on the earth? Let us see. Distribution of water on the earth, you can see on the screen over here. Earth's water, you can see saline water, that is ocean, 97%, whereas fresh water only 3%. Then you have groundwater, ice caps and glaciers, that 3%. If you calculate separately, then you will see groundwater 30.1% and ice cap and glacier 68.7%. That is fresh water. That means that fresh water, what all available on earth, if you calculate, you will get this much, and others you will get only 0.9%. That is surface water. So surface water 0.3%. Now in rivers and lakes you will see swamps and all. Rivers 2%. If you take the surface water and you calculate that separately, that is 0.3% of the surface water. If you calculate, that will be the river will include 2%, swamps will include 11%, lakes will include 87%. That is fresh surface water. So with the help of the first one, you have calculated fresh water, amount of fresh water. Then fresh water means you are calculating the surface water. Surface water also you see rivers 2%, lakes 87%. Surface water in liquid form. This is the distribution of water on earth. By now you must have realized from the first diagram on the extreme left, you can see fresh water available for us to consume to drink is only 3% of the total water bodies on the earth. And you have all 97% saline water which you cannot drink. This is how the distribution of water on earth. So let us start. 71% of the earth is covered with water. The rest is the land. So water is all over on the earth, and quite a large percentage of water on the earth. However, with different bodies actually, river, ocean, lakes and all that, that all together will become 71%. However, all that cannot be consumed by living organism. As you know, most of the water which is available on earth is too saline, highly saline, too salty. Most of the aquatic animals cannot even survive in that saline water. The figure given above represent that 97% of the earth's surface, earth's water is saline, that is present in the oceans, and 3% of the earth's water is fresh, that is present in ice caps, glaciers and underground. This fresh water can be obtained from the underground, rivers and lakes. Even then, just 1% of fresh water is easily accessible, with much of it is trapped in glaciers and snowfields. So you can see how much fresh water is available to us, very little. If we compare with the amount of water available on earth, the amount of fresh water available to us for drinking, for consuming, is very, very less. Now let us write different forms of water. Please take this down in your notebook. Different forms of water, different state of water. Solid state water exists in the solid form as ice and snow on the earth. Liquid state water exists in the liquid state in rivers, lakes, oceans and the underground. Under the ground, okay? And then gaseous state water exists as water vapor in the atmosphere. So these are the different forms of water on the earth. That is a different state of water. Please take this down in your notebook, children. I hope you are writing there. Since we are dealing with water, very important process, natural process, water cycle we need to study. So please write down a subheading, the water cycle. What is water cycle? Draw this diagram in your notebook. You can see collection of water in the seas, in the ocean, in the river, in the lakes and the ponds. They undergo evaporation, show evaporation, then it will go up, high up in the air, water vapors, they will condense, then they will form clouds, that is precipitation. Condensation with other dust particles and all, it will form clouds, that is precipitation. And then precipitation, when the clouds becomes too heavy, too bulky with waters, too much of water, loaded water, that precipitation, that cloud formation will no more able to hold water, then it will fall as rain. This is a water cycle. Please take this down, children, so that the natural process of water cycle is clear with you. The water cycle is a natural process that continuously happens on earth. The water cycle maintains the amount of water on the earth. It can be divided into 4 phases. Write down all these points. Evaporation, it is a process when the water from the earth's surface gets converted into water vapor due to the heat of the sun. As you all know, because of the heat of the sun, because of heat provided to water, water will definitely evaporate. And the water vapor then gets into the air. That is called as humidity. The amount of water holding capacity of the air, that is humidity. And condensation, the water vapor rises up in the atmosphere and get accumulated above, condenses and form water droplets. These droplets collect together and form clouds. I hope this evaporation and condensation is clear with you. What is precipitation? When the volume of droplet increases in the atmosphere, it falls on the earth as rainfall, also called as precipitation. As I told you, it becomes too bulky for the clouds to hold water, then it will fall as rain. That is precipitation. And sometimes it also occurs as snowfall in some areas. Because of various environmental factors, some areas will have snowfall where the precipitation directly will fall as a snow. Collection of water, as the water falls back on the earth, that is collection of water. It travels along the surface and will get accumulated at different places like lakes, rivers, seas, oceans and the underground. That's how the amount of water is regulated on the earth. So after evaporation, condensation, precipitation, collection of water, this is how the cycle continues and the water comes back to the earth. And this is how the water is regulated on the earth. The amount of water is regulated on the earth. I hope water cycle is clear with you and you are writing in the notebook. Groundwater. What is groundwater? Let us see what is groundwater. Here you can see on the screen over here, you have groundwater fill the spaces between the soil particles and fractured rock beneath the earth's surface. You can see over here gravel, fractured rocks. So they will fill up those because water needs very little space to move. Wherever space it will find, it will try to move in it. So when you have the spaces between the soil particles, you have learned about the soil, you have learned the water holding capacity, a different water holding capacity of the soil. So fractured rocks or the gravel will have groundwater will fill the spaces and beneath the earth's surface. And on the top of this diagram you can see the top part of the image, you can see groundwater, and you have a water table here, you have a surface water, you have a land surface. All these forms of groundwater because of the collection of water inside the fractured rocks or the gravel. That will account for the groundwater. And the level of water under the ground, that is water table. Water table, how the water table, the level depends upon how much water is being used and how much it will be replenished by the natural process of the water cycle. Because you know water seep into the ground, on the ground where you have a soil, where you it's not on a concrete surface like on roads and all, it will not seep into that. But in villages and remote areas where you have a soil on the ground, water will seep inside and it will form a water table. Water table means the amount of water beneath the earth's surface. The water that falls on the earth's surface slips inside the earth, as I told you, and get accumulated in the cracks and the gaps of the rocks present inside the earth. The water table is called the upper limit of the layer of water present beneath the earth. So the upper limit, the last level of the water which get accumulated, the top layer, is called the water table. And the water table can vary from one place to another because there are various factors on which the seeping of water inside the earth surface or under the ground, it depends on that. Depends upon the type of soil available, depend upon the rainfall, the amount of rainfall, all that. The water that is present beneath the water table of a place is called groundwater. So beneath the water table, the last top layer, and beneath whatever water amount is present, that is called groundwater. This water get accumulated inside the earth because of different sources. Please take this down. All these points should be written in the notebook. What are the different sources? Let us see. Rainwater that falls on the earth slips inside the ground. This was one of the source. And water in the rivers, lakes and ponds often slips into the earth and get accumulated as groundwater. So even from river, lakes and ponds, some amount of water will seep into the ground. Into some areas it will spread beneath the earth surface, and that also will add into the groundwater that gets accumulated under the ground. So I hope the concept of groundwater is clear with you. Thank you, children. I hope you are making points. Have a great day.